How's it going, everybody? Welcome back for another video. Today we're going to cover the latest drop of the photo dump from Duffer's Instagram for Stranger Things Season 5. And this is something that does happen on occasion. He does drop a handful of photos, and it's usually just of cast members or just random behind the scene tidbits, just nothing that's too revealing as far as the season or the series is concerned. But it's something that we do enjoy doing. I do enjoy breaking them down, talking about the series, hyping it up about the series, because we just have still so long before this series and the last season is going to premiere, because they are filming straight into the end of the year. I want to say beginning of next year too. And so we still have so far to go, so long to wait between the filming, between the post-production, between editing, and just all of that's involved in making this into a finished product. And I'm just beyond excited for this show. I want to see how it ends and see what will more than likely be a heartbreaking, but I want to say fulfilling end to the series. I myself was pretty late to the show. I know the show started in 2016, and I just could never get myself around to watching it. And then here in the last year and a half, I binged the crap out of it. I've enjoyed the hell out of it. It's been very nostalgic and whatnot, being someone that was born in the 80s, but I grew up in the 90s, and a lot of that culture and everything was still around even in the early 90s, as far as the hairstyles, the fashion, and just a lot of things in between. And so it's just so bittersweet that it's coming to an end, but I have total faith that they'll end it on a good note. I'm not convinced that we won't lose people, because that's just the nature of these kind of shows. When you have forces of good versus forces of evil kind of situation going on, people rising up not to be oppressed and whatnot, and protecting their home and just everything in between. But anyways, let's jump into these photos that we got from Duffer. I want to say a couple of days ago now. But anyways, this first one, we just have Caleb McLaughlin, who plays Lucas, and rocking that, that 80s hairstyle. And we've seen him in this outfit and a handful of other photos, but it looks like he's out there. More than likely, this is the WSQK radio station set, because it's kind of off the beaten path and it's in this kind of open field, and that's just what it feels like to me. This is where he's at, and they have been making that radio station a pretty big focal point for this season. Like, it's a new home base for our characters, and I'm just really interested to see how they come across it. Is this an active radio station, or is it something that's abandoned in the situation that's going on in Hawkins? Is Hawkins itself mostly abandoned, or did they continue life as normal as much as they could, considering how last season ended? But I'm really excited to see where this radio station comes into play, who's going to be there, and just all of that. Next one, we got Millie Bobby Brown here with her dog, and then we got a shot of Murray there in the background, another exciting character who has proven to have just so many sides and so many layers, and just he's been there for the comedic relief and getting Hopper and Joyce to realize how much they care about each other, and just being this guy that we have so many things as far as him contributing to the story. And just he's just been a very interesting character. I've really enjoyed him, and I enjoy that actor too, but it's just really awesome to see this. And again, we got Millie Bobby here with her dog, and we got some monitors where they've either begun filming or they've just finished filming a scene for the day. And you can't really see, but I'm going to try to zoom in, where we have what looks like upside down tendrils wrapped around things on the right bank of monitors there. So I think we're going to see a lot of that in Hawkins, and I think we're going to see a lot of them flipping in between the full upside down and what's just spilled into Hawkins. The next photo, we just got the Duffer brothers there doing their thing on set, and it looks like we've got something possibly burning there, right there in the forefront of the photo. But just them going through the motions, doing their job to get this to us as quickly as possible, but just exciting to see more process to it. And here's an interesting thing. It's we got a restricted area, because we know the military presence is going to be very, very heavy in this next season. We've seen a lot of photos, a lot of leaked videos from sets where they are filming there in downtown Hawkins. They have a lot of streets closed off, quarantine areas, and different things like that, probably focused around the epicenter of town where we saw at the end of last season all of those cracks and the upside down and everything spilling into Hawkins and it kind of meeting right there in the middle of town. So I imagine they probably have a lot of that closed off or quarantined off to where only certain people can get in. And along with that too, we got ECP, which stands for Entry Control Point. This is a military term along with probably other types of things having to do with areas being restricted, being quarantined and whatnot. So we have this area probably somewhere downtown, or maybe this is part of their downtown set that they have there on the studio lot, because I have seen some aerial photos that people have captured where we have a lot of the downtown areas, or certain part of them anyways, kind of rebuilt on those studio lots to protect secrets of what they're filming and whatnot. And this one's kind of interesting too. We have a dummy dressed up in military attire, and more than likely, being that this is the last season, we're probably going to see a lot of battle type sequences. So this is probably more or less a stand-in for military soldiers that are down, because we can kind of see where they have remnants of blood in their mouth. They're kind of scuffed up and beat up. So this is more than likely a scene that we're going to see military soldiers after they've been killed or whatever in the streets or whatever locations they happen to be at. This is going to be one of those stand-in, if you will, type situations where they have probably a lot of these dummies laying around to be in the place of actual actors, so they don't have to worry about people breathing noticeably or anything like that as they're filming possibly close-up shots of, or just scanning shots where they don't see people moving around. And this next one's interesting because we have a Everything Must Go sale for Radio Shack, and as far as Radio Shack is concerned, and a lot of those downtown shops, and you can kind of see it too if it's not just a trick of the light kind of picture looking here, but there's a lot of dust everywhere. And from what I remember, Radio Shack and a lot of those downtown shops closed up after the mall was there in season 2 or 3 or whatever it was. So I imagine a lot of these shops are sitting there vacant or just completely abandoned, especially in the wake of what happened at the end of last season. We're probably going to see a lot of this where buildings and houses and whatnot are either abandoned or they're crumbling because the damage that was caused by everything that was happening and just different things going on, leading these buildings to be left to rot. And this next one, we have a flyer for the WSQK radio station, and I want to say this flyer, just judging by it, this could be something that's in the radio station, and if the radio station is abandoned, this is something that was left there from before, so it might not pertain to anything that's going on in present day, because if things are really that bad in Hawkins, I don't imagine they have a radio station that's active there, along with many other shops and just different establishments and things that will not any longer be in operation. Then we got a WSQK shirt on the back of a seat, and we see a character up there, curly hair and a hat. More than likely, this is probably Dustin. And because with Dustin and Steve's relationship, having kind of a tight-knit friendship there, I imagine this is them hanging out together, being together a lot in this last little bit of the show, because they developed a pretty tight friendship there in those earlier seasons, and I think Steve's going to have a lot to do with the WSQK radio station. And then we have our usual video that we get at the end of these photo dumps, which is just a marble being dropped into a day shot. And I want to say this covers production weeks of 27 through 30. So we got our usual video, and just the excitement is just even more built up for this last season and the things that are coming. So very excited for it, very excited to see how it all comes to an end, what the end result will be. Will they defeat Vecna and just probably the masses of creatures that have come from the Upside Down? Will we lose anybody along the way? I think that possibility is at least pretty likely. As far as who we could lose, I'm going to say I think Steve's chances are pretty good for going out, maybe protecting people, because we have seen video clips out there where we hear what sounds like Dustin screaming for Steve, so I'm not real sure how safe he really is, but then again, nobody might be safe in this whole situation. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed my video, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, of course subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers, and I will see you next time. So take care. Bye. later.